Yes, the room is a mess. Hello friends, I come to you today once again from the craft corner to go over my fall knitting plans. Now when I say fall knitting plans, nothing is set in stone. These are vague concepts. Last year I did 10 different knitting goals just to throw some out there, see how many I could accomplish. I set a goal for 10 and wound up meeting about half of them. So that is to say, to me, the idea of a fall knitting plans video is not these plans are what I am going to do, but some vague ideas and concepts that might inspire you, because this is kind of what's on my noggin right now. Also, you know, to make this a little bit more of a game and to make fun of the fact that I said 10 last year and only achieved like half of them, I'm going to list a bunch and put it on a bingo card. Now, the rules for craft/project bingo is you need to make a line of 5 in a row and you check things off of the bingo sheet once you complete them. But also, because we are the captains of our own crafting ship, if we are not feeling a project anymore, we can switch that out. Now, the first row for bingo, which I think we're going to be on the same page, is we're going to fill one line entirely of whips. Of course, you say, the project is already started. All we have to do is finish the project. And that's actually the hard part right there. So, for whips, so far we have the stripe hype sweater, which I'm currently working on. I think that is probably going to be something that I finish soon. A chevron shawl, a big blanket, socks, of course, and a dishcloth. The stripe hype chevron shawl and socks, because I am going to give one of the pairs of socks that I'm working on is going to be a Christmas present. Those three, I am confident that I'm going to finish. But the kickers on that one are, first of all, the big blanket, because it's a blanket project, and I really do not like working with that yarn. But I think the most likely one that I'm going to frog is the dishcloth. Now, knitting carryovers from last year's goals, I want to carry over the beret because I still really like, it's this yarn. It's got caked up. It's beautiful, beautiful yarn. And I think that it'll make a really cute beret, and I really want to do it. I just haven't gotten around to do it. Still on the carryover is a vintage sweater. I am not currently dressing very vintage today, but I do want to get back to that. I have kind of been in the mood of please do not perceive my corporeal form, but I think that making a vintage sweater will help. I am also carrying over a sweater dress. Last year I did not want to take my measurements for reasons, but I still do want to knit that dress. I still want to do a cardigan. I think it was the macaron cardigan by Espace Tricot. What if I use this acrylic alpaca, and it's green and it's a little fuzzy, but I'm not sure how it would necessarily like work up in that variegated color? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And back on kind of a vintagey theme for carryovers from last year is the Rizzo top by Poison Girl Knits. I think that last year the thing that was intimidating me was that it is a fingering weight garment, but since then I have fallen in love with knitting fingering weight. I'm over that hurdle, and we might be ready to throw some vintage knits in there if I am finally getting over my fear of fingering weight. Now for some vague concepts that I might want to do. I want to do a color tip tee long sleeve version, no tips. Another vague concept, you might remember from a video quite a while ago that I have a bunch of Lion Brand shawl in a cake. So I was wanting to take another one of those single balls and make a half pie shawl. I'm holding off on doing a half pie shawl with the Lion Brand shawl in a cake because I have the chevron shawl on the needles currently, and logic is saying I should probably hold off the same type of item with the same needles in the same type of yarn. I should probably hold off on until one of them is already finished. Another concept similar to the dress that I want to knit a skirt. I might hunker down and choose either the dress or the skirt, so it could be either or, but I do think that I want to at least cast one of those on this quarter. I also want to knit a headband. As you can see, I like headbands, and as you can also see, I use headbands to hide the fact that I have a lot of hair breakage and it just fuzzes away. But yeah, I want to knit a headband. I was thinking the one that, like the Dewdrops headband and cowl that Rachel is knitting, is going to drop, she said, in October. We're just kind of waiting on that pattern to drop, and then I'll probably cast it on pretty much as soon as it does. And I also want to cast on a Henley. Maybe I just want to feel like the male protagonist in a rom-com. Don't we all? But I think that those are the most likely wants, and they kind of go with things that are already on the list. Some complete out of left field vague concepts are cables. The Salty Days sweater is having a knit along right now. Does that actually have cables? I know that it has faux cables with some of the diamonds. Does that have cables? Maybe that'll work. I want to challenge myself to use some deep stash. I think I have left myself 2 blank spaces, and I have written down something for Diamond. I was thinking this yarn for Diamond because she dyed her hair this color, I think during the summer, and then it faded to this color, and it still looks really cool. I asked her if she would be interested in a cowl, and she said that, like, she's tried neck stuff before, but she doesn't really like wearing things around her neck in the winter. Like, it's a good idea, but she never actually uses it. Significant other suggested knitting socks. Also, if I were to knit Diamond socks, then I would have to figure out what Diamond's shoe size was, which would mean that I have a running tally of my friends' shoe sizes. That seems like weird information for me to store in my head, and I know too many people's shoe sizes at this point for me to want to continue it. Comment down below what you think this 100% superwash merino wool should be. But of course, the craft that is not particularly portable to me, I have some sewing goals. I like making a Christmas dress. I don't think that I've made a Christmas dress in the past 2 years, maybe 3, but it is my goal this year. Let's see if I actually do it, to get back to making a Christmas dress. I want to sew a wrap dress. It might be completely seasonally inappropriate to sew a wrap dress, but I really want to do one. I would also like to sew another quilt. I think last year we did Quiltmas. I kind of failed through that. I did not do 4 quilts in 4 weeks. I already have some squares cut. I just need to arrange them and actually form it into a quilt, actually sew that together. That could be just a weekend project if I hunker down and actually do it. And I think the last sewing goal, which might be emotionally the hardest for me to complete, is finishing the Christmas quilt that I started last year. The quilt top is finished. It's glue basted. I just haven't been able to convince myself to brave putting such a large quilt, because this sucker is like a king size quilt. I have a home sewing machine. I don't know how I'm going to be able to maneuver this, but I have committed to maneuvering this. I just need to finish it. So can I realistically achieve all of these goals and get a blackout bingo card? Probably not, but I could theoretically get bingo. And I think I could also, if I really hunker down to it, get bingo with all stash yarn and stash fabric and stash everything. I could. If the dopamine is not gonna hit with me refusing to buy more stash, then that's just where the dopamine's gonna hit and I can buy some stash. I would just really like to challenge myself to get down as much stash as humanly possible. Part of that is because significant other and I have been discussing potentially moving in 2-ish years. Let's see how that plan goes. If there is less stash, then that translates to fewer boxes to pack, you know? So if you have any fall/Q4 crafting goals, stash down strategies, any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. New videos should be up on Fridays, maybe not every Friday. So if you like this kind of video and want to see if I'm actually keeping up with those goals, feel free to hit that little thumb, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you know when I actually do post. Like always, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye!